What's up, everybody? I've been getting a lot of questions about my diet. Man, you've lost some weight. You've lost some weight. Yes, I've lost a little bit. I have. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell you exactly what I've done because I've just kind of winged it. But I figured the easiest way to address it was just make a video. So here we go. First off, this ain't advice. Do not take my advice. This is just what worked for me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a air conditioner man. So, but it worked for me, and I believe it's a path that you can, generally work your way down kind of on your own. Just kind of figure out what works for you and what don't. So March 23rd, 2025 was my start day. Before then, deer season had gone out in February, and I was just, every year into deer season, I'm exhausted. I'm just tired, and I was gonna, every year I tell myself, hey, this time next year, I'm not gonna be like this. I'm gonna do something before next hunting season. This is gonna be my last hunting season where I'm huge. So this last year, toward the end of deer season, 10th of February, here in Alabama it goes out. So end of season, I kind of quit doing. I just said, you know what, got to start somewhere. So I started cutting sugar out. I was like, I'm not going to eat a Little Debbie. I love to come to work and drink a couple, and I've been drinking just a cup of black coffee, at work or anywhere. But I'd come to work, eat a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie, because that's the healthy ones, right? Anyway, I'd do that, and then I would, drink a cup of black coffee with it, and that would start my morning. And I'm not a breakfast eater. I'm still not a breakfast eater. I get sick if I eat breakfast. So I normally don't eat till, between 11 and 1 during the day. And I've been like that my whole life. I've always been big, always. I mean, even from like kindergarten on up. I mean, I think I was normal through kindergarten, and then first grade and on up, I was just a little short, fat kid. And that's the kind of way of being. Always been that way. And and of course, I know somebody's gonna probably jump on here and say, yeah, you're fat, you're lazy. Fat people are lazy. Yeah, whatever. And everybody's got a lazy streak in them somewhere. I mean, come on, be real. I like to be lazy. I just don't have a lot of time to be lazy, so I've never had an opportunity to. I had bad choice of food. I did. I was not a huge eater. I just eat the wrong things. If it tasted good, I eat it. And and of course it would make aggravate the stew out of me. You go to a restaurant, sit down and eat with a guy that's just as hookwormy as he can be. Don't weigh 150 pounds. He go back to the buffet 5 times, and then go get dessert. And I go eat a salad and get a plate of regular food, and I'm done. And just so anyway, March 23rd, 2025, I started what my diet, my carnivore diet. I'd come across a Joe Rogan podcast. He had Dr. Jordan Peterson on there, and they was talking about what Dr. Jordan Peterson's daughter had done, cured her autoimmune disorders and stuff like that, the rheumatoid arthritis and things like that. And I was like, you sounds, doable. I can do that. So I started kind of researching a little bit, looking into it, kind of what it took. I come across Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Eric Berg, several different doctors that was advocates for this diet. And I was like, that starts to kind of make some sense, but there's no way that works. There's no way you can just eat meat, red meat, beef, bacon, butter, eggs, whatever. You can't do that and lose weight. But who am I? I'm 475 pounds, and we've got to do something. So let's try it. I'm the kind of person, you give me a blueprint, you give me instructions, and I can do it. And so I kind of took their advice from what I gathered from YouTube and started my own version. I started March the 22nd. I was going to go to April 1st and start on a day. You know, we're going to do it on this day. You know, we're going to have a start date. That way, from the future looking back, you know, I did it from April 1st, but I just got over anxious. And March the 22nd, we went to Monster Jam in Biloxi. You know, my friends and myself, and we went to eat at a Mexican restaurant before we went. And I had my last glass of sweet tea, and sweet tea was my drink. You know, that's my stuff. But I did that March the 22nd. March the 23rd, I got up, and that was the day I changed. I started just eating. I started off with hamburger meat. Just went and bought me a 2-pound thing of hamburger meat, and on the Blackstone, I cracked a dozen eggs in the hamburger meat and scrambled it all together, and I eat it. I went and bought Bearded Butcher seasoning, the original, the Cajun, and the bold. It was, you know, 0 calorie, or not 0 calorie, but 0 sugar, 0 carb, you know, none of the stuff, you know, none of the junk in it. I mean, it's pretty clean. So I bought that. That's what I started seasoning my food with. And I started there. Within the first week, the difference that I noticed was I sleep better. When I go to bed at night, I go to sleep. I was always toss and turn. If I drink a cup of coffee or a glass of tea after 2 o'clock in the day, I'm hosed. It's gonna be 2 o'clock in the morning before I go to sleep. Now, I mean, after a week, I was, you know, I'd go to bed and I'd pass smooth out. So I was like, that's pretty nice. Within the first month, I'd lost 60 pounds, 50 pounds in 30 days. Then within 2 months, I lost 100. So I was 375 within 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that. I mean, it was rapid weight loss. And I started feeling better, sleeping better. I felt better. You know, the inflammation, the back pain, the knee pain. I mean, the gout. I fought with gout. I'd had gout all my life, all my adult life. Fought with it. It's been terrible. It's gone. I mean, it left within the first 90 days. It was done. Started having blood pressure dropping. My heart rate started dropping low at night. Couldn't figure out why, and went to the doctor. And she's like, "Well, I told her what was going on." I mean, she looks at me whenever I walk in. Last time I walked in there, I was 475 pounds, and at this point, I was, you know, like 419 after the first month or so, and a month and a half. And I walked in and she looked at my chart and she looked up at me and she looked at my chart and she grinned. She's like, "You've lost some weight." She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Drugs." And I got, you know, anyway, she didn't take the joke like I meant it. So, you know, I told her what I was doing. And I think after I told her the diet that I was doing, she would have assumed me to do drugs because she didn't want me to do the meat. "No, you got to have all this other stuff." But it's working. Why do I got to have all that junk if it's working for me? And I said, "Do me a favor, run labs." So she run labs that day, and my liver enzyme count, or whatever the stuff was, it was I think the high end of that number is 45, 44, 45. She run it that day, it was a 54. And she said, "Come back in a week, let's run it again." Went back in a week, it was 66. So it went up. And you got to do something different. You got to do something different. We come back in 2 weeks. I didn't, because by this point it was June, coming into toward the end of June, and I ended up. Well, I went on a trip and went out. Went up to Missouri, scouted some deer hunting property, and I got up there and got in the middle of a field. It was 95 degrees. Got in the middle of a field and thought I was dying. I had what I thought was a heat stroke. Turned out my blood pressure was bottoming out. And so I came home. Make a long story short, I have weaned my way back off of my blood pressure medicine. I'm off of it completely. I no longer take a pill for gout. So when I had the episode with my blood pressure, that I thought was a heat stroke, I went back. That was on a Saturday. I went back on Monday to the doctor. It was July 4th weekend. I went to the doctor on Monday because I had an open appointment for blood work. And I went back in and I said, you know, hey, let's do this blood work. I did a fasting lab. I always do. I mean, it's just kind of, they say you don't have to sometimes, but I just do it anyway. But I went in, did that, and she called me back in a couple of days. The nurse did, and she called me. She said, Mr. Cobbs, yes, ma'am. She said, just wanted to let you know that your lab work is perfect. I said, explain perfect. Please tell me what perfect means. I said, I come in for, you know, for this liver, whatever. And she said, that number's 37. That's a good thing. You know, she said, yeah, whatever you had going on, you fixed it. So I didn't tell her, you know, she didn't, you know, she was one of the ones that likes to fuss at me about the way I'm eating. So I didn't give her the, you know, the satisfaction of knowing what I was doing to fix it. So, but anyway, just kept doing my labs, kept doing my diet. I would do the diet. I didn't stray. I've not been off of it. I've not had anything sweet. I've not had a piece of bread or anything. And this is the 22nd of January today. And tomorrow will be 10 months that I've been on this diet. I'm 313 pounds. So I've lost 162 pounds in this time frame. I'll be honest. The last month, I ain't lost nothing. I've not lost a pound. My pants are still getting a little looser. My belt's needing another hole drilled in it. But as far as the scale goes, me and the scale are not on speaking terms. So I stay off of it. But I've not lost anything. Even it's gone up a couple of pounds. It goes 315, 316, you know, comes back down 313. But it is what it is. I'm not 475 anymore. I don't know what to do. I mean, I really don't know what to do, but that's neither here nor there. I'm better than I was. So, but if I could tell anybody anything about doing a carnivore, just a ketogenic diet, cut your carbs, cut your sugar. You know, the same doctors that studied cigarettes and tobacco back in the 60s, it's the same doctors, the same group that studied food and how to make it addictive. So, you know, it's geared to, it's supposed to make you, it's geared to keep you unhealthy. That's why America's unhealthy. I heard something this morning. They said America makes up, you know, such a small percentage of the world population, but yet we consume 70% of the world's drugs. So we're unhealthy, you know, and it is to blame on our fast food industry, our you know, the medical stuff. I mean, it's what they're taught. You can't blame a doctor for going to what they're taught. That's what they go to school for all these years for. But they're not being taught about the health benefits of a keto, you know, the carnivore ketogenic style diets. You know, cut out your carbs, cut out your sugars, cut that junk out. You don't need that. You don't need a healthy carb. There's no healthy carb. No carb is your healthiest carb. So, you know, but there again, I'm no doctor. I'm just a guy that it worked for. So, I mean, I'm gonna pop a few pictures before and after, or before and current, because I'm not after yet. I'm a work in progress. I'm gonna throw a few pictures in here in this video of me. It just is what it is. I've been posting a few pictures of myself. It's not conceited. I'm not stuck on myself. I'm proud. And I want what I've done for myself to help somebody else. You know, I want somebody that's always struggled with their weight, with their, you know, because stereotypically, I mean, I know there's going to be some hookwormy little guy that's going to jump on here that likes to lift weights and, you know, I'm the picture of health. Sure you are. But I could go to a gym and do in 3 weeks what it's took you 3 years to do. It's body structure. It's the way your body is made up. I'm a big, strong guy. You're a small, hookwormy guy that's got to work for it. I have to work for my health. You know, it comes easy for you. That's fine. It's just the difference in us. You'll never understand why it is the way it is to be me. And I'll never understand what it's like to be you, because for the rest of my life, this is going to be a struggle for me. But I'm going to stick with it. This is what I've found, something that works. And like I said before, I'm the kind of guy, you give me a plan, you give me a a schematic. You give me something to go by, give me some instructions, and I'll make it happen. I can put it together, I can make it work. And I found something that I really didn't have instructions for, but I've winged it, I figured it out. You know, it's, I like intermittent fast, eat within a 6 hour period during the day and fast for 18 hours. Water fast, fast for 48 hours every once in a while. It's not gonna hurt anything. That's the best thing you can do for your body. Reset it. Maybe that's what I need to do to get off my plateau now. Maybe I need to do a 72 hour or 96 hour fast or something like that. And I'm not above it. I enjoy it. Yeah, it's a little tough to start with, but it works. I've done several in these last 10 months. I've done several, close to 60-hour fasts. So it's not hard to do. It's just the way it is. It's fairly simple. It's mind over matter. If you set your mind to it, you've got 95% of the battle won. Is here. Set your mind. Get your mind right. You're bigger than the fork. You're bigger than the quarter pounder with cheese. However, if you go to McDonald's and get you a few of those patties, just get the patties. They're worth eating. Pretty good. Order 6 of them because they have to cook them fresh if you order 5 or more, or 6 or more. So I go to McDonald's, order me 6 of them, and some days I'll eat all 6 of them. But there's a few little hacks, a few little tricks that you can do to make it yours. Just wing it. Just start. The biggest step is just start, and you don't have to be perfect on it. You don't. But if you do it, I challenge you for 30 days. If you will do it for 30 days, give your body a chance to adapt to it for 30 days. I promise you it's life-changing. It's something you'll want to do. I know guys that, this is their reset. They bought a suit of clothes and they eat a normal American diet 90% of the time. But whenever their clothes start getting tight, they go on a diet for 30 days. They'll drop 20, 30 pounds, get back where they want to be, and move on. I don't want to do that. That's not my goal. My goal is to get to a healthy weight and keep doing this because I feel so good. I don't want to go back to feeling bad. I don't want to go back to tossing and turning all night and not being able to sleep. I don't. That's not living. That's existing. Go to bed and sleep apnea. I know I had sleep apnea. I know I did. I never went to the doctor for it because I didn't want the little machine I had to wear on my head. Because that's not living either. And I didn't want to have to do that. So I just fought it. There was nights I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would be having a dream that I was in water, underwater, and I knew that when the next time I took a breath, or if I tried to take a breath, that was going to be it. I was going to drown. And I know now that it was just me not being able to, I'd stop breathing. And that was my mind. I guess that's where my mind went, was, you're underwater. You've wrecked your boat, you turned your boat over, whatever, and I know I could, probably dozens of times in the last few years where I would be in my subconscious, in my dreams, I would just, I would be holding it, and then I would, and I'd wake up, my heartbeat just beating out of my chest, just killing me, and it's crazy, and but in all the other tests, I did a sleep study and everything. I've been trying to do this by the letter, as far as medically, because everybody else says it works good, but I'm doing this for Joel. I want to be sure that I'm getting it right for me, and so I don't want to mess something up. I don't want to jack my system up, even though I know everybody else that's done it and everything. They said everything's good. I believe them, but we're gonna do it for me. So I've been getting my doctor to run labs. Let's do I told her, I said, I want you to check me out from the rooter to the tutor. And if it can be checked in the blood, I want you to check it in the blood. And we did. We checked everything. 2 weeks ago, I got my results back from my last one. We're good. My total cholesterol is like 140. I've been eating this diet, doing this diet, eat a lot of bacon, a lot of butter. It's my favorite, it's pretty good. A lot of steaks, Yeah, it gets a little expensive, but hey, it is what it is. Being unhealthy is expensive. I mean, you spend the money trying to be healthy, or you can spend the money trying to stay healthy. And drugs ain't that. Drugs is not the answer. No, that's just. I mean, because pharmaceuticals is going to be they're going to charge you money. You're going to spend money. Go buy the steak. Go eat you a steak, even if it's a cheap steak. Go get the steak. You know, my advice: let them. If you go buy the whole chuck roll like I did, I learned real quick. I'm not a butcher. I'm a heck of a lot better air conditioner man than I am a butcher. I'd have been better off to take a chainsaw to it and try to cut it up than I did what I did with it. I ruined a $120 chunk of meat, but I eat it. It was a mess. So, I mean, it's, make it your own. Do it, figure out what works. Hamburger patties, go to the freezer section. They usually have 2 or 4 of them in a pack, sometimes 6 of them in a pack. Get that and put your little butter in a pan and fry it. Put your little seasoning on it. Check your seasoning. Make sure your seasoning ain't got no sugar in it. But there's a lot of stuff. Even old stale cracker got a Cajun 2-step. It ain't got no sugar, no carbs in it. Bearded Butcher's got some really good stuff out there. And I don't like bland food, plain food. I don't like it. So that, as a carnivore purist gonna jump on me for that? Yep, probably. You know what? I don't care. That's just the way I do it. And like I said before, this ain't advice. This is just how I do it. So, the best step for starting a healthy way of living, just do it. Get your mind right. Get your mindset on it. Like I said before, you get your mindset on something, you've got it. You've got 95% of the battle won whenever you get the gears up here working. When you get them right, when you get them all going the same direction, you've got it. So this is the easiest way I know to address all the questions. I've been getting a ton of questions, ton of messages, and people, just sending me, direct messages and things. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's make a video. I'm not good on camera. I've never been on camera. I hate to hear my voice on a recording, but it is what it is. I'm out of my comfort zone, but I sure hope that I can do something or say something to inspire somebody, help somebody, man. Life's too short. It's too short anyway. Don't do nothing to shorten it anymore. It's, heart disease and all that. It's real. There's real stuff. But take a step to go for yourself. Do it for you. Do it for your family. There's people that care. So, like I say, I'm gonna drop a few pictures sporadically through this. Just a few before and a few currents. There's some difference. There's a lot of difference. Like I say, I was 475 at my heaviest, but I worked every day, never stopped. You call me fat and lazy, I'll fight you over it. I was fat. I wasn't lazy. Never been lazy. Not as a whole. Like I say, everybody has a lazy streak, but we'd fight over. I promise you couldn't outwork me. It's just because, like I said, it's in your mind. Get your mind right. If I set my mind to outwork you, I'll outwork you. I don't care how hookwormy you are. It is what it is. So you get it right, get your mind right, make a start, and make it work for you. And I'm here. If you want to, my phone number's not hard to find. And it's all over the internet. So if you want to talk to somebody about it, call me, talk to me, direct message me, comment on it. It's whatever you want to do. I'm here. Just to steer you in a direction. I don't do medical advice, but I will. I'll tell you what worked for me and what didn't, because there's a few things that didn't work for me. I won't do no more. But anyway, y'all have a good day. Y'all try to stay warm this weekend. It's supposed to be pretty warm or pretty cold, and even in South Alabama. So y'all be good, take care, and I'll be talking to you.